Oh, close. There we go. There we
Hello,
go. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
We're getting it working. I'm gonna hit some light here, and it's morning where I'm at. It's
Yeah,
bright and early. What time is it for you, Jonas?
it's 2 p.m. right now.
All right. Well, good afternoon and
Okay.
good evening for anybody else that's joining. We are. I woke up and yesterday we had some conversations about multi-architecture build packs, and I pointed you in a direction, and you're stuck. So this is what I like to do. Let's just jump in and we'll go through the exercise together. We'll see if we can figure out what the problem is, and maybe we'll help somebody else out along the way. How does that sound?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so I'm gonna drive here. Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure.
And while you do that, oh, so I don't want to do it that way. I will figure out, um, or I'll explain what we're doing. This multi-architecture build pack uh, idea. We're both using Macs, Raspberry Pis, ARM64 architecture. Spring came out with this native image capability. It's been out for a long time. It was an experimental feature for a couple of years. And then in 2022, it went GA and it was available with Spring Framework 6 and Spring Boot 3. But the build packs that you got by default with the start.spring.io with the Maven or Gradle Spring Boot plugins didn't have support for native images for ARM64. On the side, I had created a build pack that would allow you to build those native images with ARM64, and it had a good run. But now we're here, and it's 2024, and now we're at Java 22. The 23 release is early access that you can go and take it for a spin. But native images are still super amazing, and we want to take them for a spin. I didn't want to push out another build pack because Upstream Paketo, our friends at the Paketo organization, they have created a multi-architecture stack, which I've been using. They also created multi-architecture build packs that work. So there's a Java build pack and a Java native image build pack that I thought was working. I have it running on Raspberry Pis. I have it generating images, and it's working. But I pointed you in that direction.
Yep.
It's not working. So let's figure out what we can do. And if it doesn't work, we're just going to push out a new build pack of my flavor, and we're going to add Java 22 to that, and then we'll go. And that's
Yep.
it. So we just want to be able to generate a Java 22 native image for ARM64. That's the goal for today. If it takes us 5 minutes, cool. If it takes us 5 hours, that's all right too. I have a cutoff. I'm going to have to leave in 2.5 hours. I have to take my son to some lessons. So
Yep.
we have time. So let's jump in. I'm going to see if we can.
It might get ultra wide, so it might be a bit small.
Yeah. So I'm
I
going
can
to
try
move
to
this
adjust the
screen
font.
so I can hear it a little, or I'm going to look at it a little bit. So I'm going to bump this screen so I can join, and let's see what's happening. Oop.
I'm not sure this project actually are able to build native or run natively. I had some issues, but
Okay,
I've
so
tried
this should
back
be
and
our
forth.
default. What we should do is let's take and let's change the builder
Mm-hmm.
to the one that we know works with Java 21, my flavor, the
Yeah, okay,
Deshaun Builder
I,
Tiny. Let's do
yep,
that and see if we get a native image.
we can do that.
And the other
Let's,
thing that we could do is we don't even have to do that. We could just run the Maven -p native and we just do native compile locally to see
yeah,
if like it'll
you can see
generate.
that. You can see that works. I'm running Windows, and I've been having some trouble with the Visual Studio stuff, but it worked last time, so we could try.
Okay, I'll be honest. I haven't done this on my Windows machine for a while. I think you've been aware. Uh, Sometimes there's little interesting things that happen.
Yep.
Building native images on Windows I remember I got goosebumps. I remember that there was something extra that I needed to add. There was a command that I needed to add in order to get the native image kit available on my path. And I don't
Yeah.
remember those steps. It's documented somewhere.
Yeah, I've been trying to follow those, but well, let's see if they work. We could try
Yeah.
to do this one, the
So
native compile.
you're on Windows
Yeah.
and you are. Is it Windows on x86?
I guess so. Yeah, 64-bit. AMD.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Let's see.
I'm happy that you're using 3.3, which has been out
Yep.
for 2 weeks. 2 weeks it's been out.
Oh.
All right, let's see what we got here. So I can't see. I'm gonna try to adjust this layout a little bit. See if I can make it even bigger. Hold on.
Yeah, I can try to zoom more as well.
Yeah, I probably messed up things, but we're gonna do this. I'm gonna add the.
I'm using the wrong version of GraalVM, I think, because let's see, GraalVM 22. Let's try to go back to 21 if I had that installed. Maybe not.
So that's one thing that we don't get with Windows is the SDK, man.
Yeah.
Such an amazing, powerful tool.
Yep. I use it all the time on my Linux machine.
Yes, it's a great.
Where I do most of my coding on the Linux environment, but today I was on Windows.
I get it. I get it. Being flexible is important.
But I think it's weird that it didn't work. I usually don't get error status 1. I got 51. Oh, it's just 51 here.
All right. Well, I couldn't. I can't come up with anything fancier to make this move, but that's all right. All right. So what did we run into?
Looks like it doesn't. It's not able to find native image for 22. But I have set for 21, I think.
Wait. So right now, let's go look at your POM file.
Mm-hmm.
And let's look at the Maven build plugin. So why is it looking for 22? Let's do a clean locally.
I think it's because I'm running the 22 version of GraalVM.
Yep.
So I think I need to downgrade. Can I install the 21 version right from IntelliJ? Is that possible? GraalVM Community Edition. Let's try that.
And we'll see.
I think
we're going to make sure that our classes can compile the native first.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if we can make some adjustments.
Yep.
So while that's happening, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. Hopefully that's working and I didn't miss a whole lot. If you're joining us, wherever you're joining from, please say hi and let us know where you're from. I know Josh isn't here, but he would love to see where you're joining from. And my parents are always watching. Hi, Mom, Dad, I love you. And they always get a kick out of seeing where everybody's joining from. Jonas, where are you at?
I'm from Norway, so I'm currently in Oslo.
Oslo, that's amazing. And I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, right in the middle of America, the heart of America. All right.
Seems to be better now.
But it says BPM JVM version, it picked 17.
Yes, noticed that.
That's interesting. And we can force it. We can give it that BP JVM version. We can pass in that parameter in our build image environment, and it'll select the right one. So I want to do that next. I'm assuming that this is going to work. What we're doing is just building an image locally.
Yep,
and,
it should work.
Yeah.
I might have trouble to start it because I need a lot of Spring Cloud config environments variables. Okay. So but I think I might have a Docker file somewhere to Docker Compose file
Got it.
to run it.
Got it. I'm going to allow you to use Docker Compose.
Yeah, I'm using Docker Compose.
Yeah, friends don't let friends use Docker files. So
Nope.
right, that's a mess. We don't want to do that.
I only have a Docker Compose file here for testing.
Yes, and you're using that built-in Spring's Docker Compose support.
Yeah, I use that for my database when I develop locally.
Fantastic. All right, so the native image process, for those that don't know, typically bytecode runs on a Java virtual machine. And the promise, one of the big values of bytecode is that we could take that and run it anywhere. We can run it on any operating system, which is a big deal. We can run it on any architecture, the same bytecode. As long as the JVM exists, they can read that bytecode for that operating system. Our bytecode can travel. And that's tons of value. But sometimes we have applications and we have different shapes and sizes, and we have a lot more concerns that we can address these days. We can take into account the footprint of where things are. We can take into account how much money it runs or costs to run, or maybe we don't want things to run all the time. And maybe we're just deploying things to Raspberry Pis. Tell me, how's your Raspberry Pi cluster doing? How's the health?
I think it's still running. I have a few applications there. This particular application is not on the Raspberry Pis. It's on a free Oracle Cloud instance.
Good
ARM64. So, but it should be able to run in the same or on the Raspberry Pis as well. So
good. I'm a big fan of the Oracle Cloud and their generous free tier.
Yep.
And I'm not going to get into that today, but I will be getting into that maybe later this week, getting my automation set up so that I can do interesting things in Oracle Cloud and play in their generous free tier.
It built successfully, so we'll try to start it.
We have a comment from Valdemar that says, hey, the fonts are a little bit too small. Do you know how to plus your font size so that
I can maybe zoom the whole? Isn't that a zoom level?
Yeah, there you go.
Here, maybe.
Awesome. That looks better for me.
150.
Yeah, that looks great for me. We'll see. We'll get some feedback.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's visible. So all that we've done, Valdemar, all that we've done so far is we're testing this code to make sure that we can get a native image, and right now it works. So on Windows x86, we can build a native image. This is good. But that native image that we generated on Windows, on x86, that's not going to work on our Raspberry Pis. What we're trying to do today is build a native image using Java 22 for ARM64 architecture on Linux so that we can run them on our Raspberry Pis. We can run them in the Oracle Cloud's ARM64 images.
Yep.
There's the plan. So we know that our code can generate native image code. This is a good thing.
It also started on the Windows.
Fantastic. So next step, Valdemar says, yes, that's much better. Awesome. So next step, let's switch it. Let's now try the Paketo build pack. We want to build a native image, so we're going to use the buildpackless builder.
Mm-hmm.
I pointed I think I shared the code that I've been using, and let's see what happens on Windows. Let's see what happens with that buildpackless builder.
I can check out my other branch.
Right.
It should be this, right?
So we have the buildpackless builder. We're giving it a name, and then this is the Java. So here's the thing. The build pack, right? What we've done is we said, hey, with this builder, there's no build packs in it. It gives us a base to start creating a builder. And what we're doing now is you've added the Java build pack. The Java build pack does not build native images. So if we want to build a native image on Windows, we should use the Java-native-image. And that one will be able to generate a native image.
So dash image or native as well?
Java-native-image.
Like this?
Yep. And now in your environment, let's say BP JVM version 22, and let's do the BP native image flag. I don't remember it off the top of my head. There it is. BP native image. Let me go look. Paketo Java native image flag. I think it's just BP native image, but I'm going to double check. I'm going to try to double check.
Yep.
And I'm going to go to the documentation over at Spring.io. And I'm going to the Spring Boot documentation. And I'm going to look through there, because now we have this nice search, BP _ native _ image, and set that to true. That's exactly right. This is all that we should need. Let's see if this works. I expect this to work. I'm going to go look at I have another project that I'm working on right now. I'm going to go look at the flags and make sure that that's what I've got running, and we're just doing it side by side.
Yes.
I have another project, but you're kicking it off. You're switching to 22.
Yep.
Which we shouldn't need because we have that BP native version in there.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I did it anyway. We could try it.
I'm gonna go open up another project. And let's see. That's all we can do, right?
Yep.
I got all these windows open. I'm just getting back home. I'm still recovering. And I just haven't really got my coding legs yet. They're not there yet. All right, this is looking good.
Yeah, it's looking better.
This is promising. So what I think, there we go. It's pulling down. There we can see it. Belsoft Liberica, Java 22, and it's. Well, wait, I don't see it pulling down the NIC. Oh, it did. Yeah, it did pull down the NIC. The native image kit. Oh, look at this. That is awesome. Tomato. Hey, Deshaun, it was good to meet you at Spring.io. I'll shoot for a great next time. But that's so exciting. I'm glad that you're here. I'm still kind of running on the Spring.io residuals. It was such a great event, and I learned so much. And then there's just so much that I want to come home and I want to do. I want to take it to production. All right, what happened here?
Let's see.
What happened?
Unsupported feature exception.
It says nested file system provider. This is. So I've never ran into this issue. Let's do me a favor. Let's switch it to Java 21 and let's run it again.
Yep.
Let's see if this is a Java 21, 22 issue. But what we saw was we were pulling down Java 22. Yep. Java 22 is released. Java 22 is GA. So we expect this to work.
Do I need to change the Java version in my properties as well?
Yes.
So I could compile the 21?
Yes. And let's give that a try. And I'm going to do the same thing. with a little project here. I'm not on Windows, but I have another simple project that I'm going to have building locally with the same steps. I'm going to put the same config into my Palm. I've got it. I'm going to hard code that env where we say BP native image true, and also the JVM, what was it? BP JVM version. I'm going to say 22. And let's see if it works for me. When you ran the Spring Boot build image, did you do -p native?
Yes.
All right. Spring Boot build image -p native. Let's see if I get the same thing. Because I did -p native, I think I can take out the BP underscore native underscore image true. Oh, I got some interesting things. Oh, it looks like I have something else already started on 8080, which is trying to use. Please hold. All right, so it looks like it's working for you with 21. This is interesting.
Yep. I think it failed on step 2 last time.
Okay. This is absolutely interesting. Oh, I had a problem in my config. I'm doing the Spring Boot build image as well with the same JBPM version of 22. And in my house, my native images on my Windows machine actually build faster. My Windows machine is the fastest machine. I got this fancy Mac. I have an Ampere back there, and the Windows machine, which is the oldest of the 3 beefy machines, the desktops, it is, oh, hey, Tomato, yeah, says, sorry, got to dip off. I was wondering if native compilation produces any low-level logging files. Would be interested to know. You're going to get the same output. You're going to get all the same logging that you would get. So it takes everything. You're not going to miss any of the features that you expect. You're going to get them. So if you're talking about the native compilation, you want to get debug of the native compilation, there are flags that you can enable. I have never done this. Actually, I did a long time ago. You can get logging from that process, but there's a lot of valuable logging already that you can kind of see on Jonas's screen here. So yeah, but if there's something specific, let me know what you're looking for and we'll dig in. So did it work?
Yeah, it also started, so seems
fantastic. So we're
fine.
good. So now this is just a case where, hey, maybe there's something interesting here for 22. So let's switch back. Oop, I have a problem. I have a problem. I'm using 21. Maybe mine failed as well. Yep. So when I have my java.version set at 21 and my BP version set at 22, I run into the same error that you did. So what could this possibly be? So my debug mind, I want to get to same. So I'm going to switch my Java version to 22.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do a clean build locally. I want to make sure that my build pack is not using any of the target data that I have. So all I'm going to do is mvnw clean. And the other thing I'm going to do, because I only added this right now to kind of be explicit, is I'm going to remove the BP native image flag from my environment on line 189. I'm going to comment that line out. So I'm using the Java native image because I'm passing in the -p, the native flag.
Yep.
I'm hoping that'll work. So my Java version is the same as my BP JVM version. I've done it clean, and I'm going to try it again. And we'll see. We're just trying to eliminate it. I've not. Oh,
I think I forgot to change the Graalvm version in the
okay.
IntelliJ.
Oh, I ran into the same thing. Release version 22 not supported. So let's do undo SDK man or SDK list Java. I'm going to switch to Liberica 22. 22.0.1. And then I'll try it again. I didn't have Java 22 installed on this machine. There we go. SDK, use Java. There. MEMW clean, and then MEMW-P native Spring Boot build image. That's what I'm doing.
I've been doing clean package, but I have a goal with build image no fork, so I think it should be the same.
And we'll see. We're gonna get in, and if we find an issue, we're gonna open an issue. We're gonna let our friends know, like, hey, we ran into something. It worked with Java 21, and it's not working with Java 22. So this might be a Java 22 issue.
Yep.
In that case, right, because you're on Windows and you're on x86. I'm on Mac. We're using the same build pack. This is the coolest thing already, is that we're using the same upstream build pack, and we're building on different architectures. We're both running into the same error, but we also both got Java 21 to work.
Yep.
So if we wanted to glue those together and deliver a manifest, we could deliver it to x86 users and ARM64 users. So already we're winning for sure, but we'd like to win a little bit more. We want to get this working. So I ran into the same error. So I'm gonna look, and I'm see. We're looking at the same error. So let's see what it says. It says unsupported feature exception. So what I'm guessing is that even if I built a new build pack with my setup, we'd probably run into the same thing. But now I'm curious. I want to know.
Yeah.
Right. So
this error is new for me, though. I haven't got this one before.
I have not run into this. So the nested file system provider are persisted in the image heap at initialize at build time. This nested file system provider to the native image arguments, which we can do that. Note that initializing new types can store additional objects to the heap. It is advised to check the static fields of that to see if they're, so it's all about this nested file system provider. Yep. If these classes should not be stored in the image heap, you can use this. So it's just that one thing. So let's, I don't know if this is a Java 22 specific thing. It feels like that's what it is. So let's add that. Let's add that to our build image configs. And I haven't done it in a while, so I'm going to go look. I'm going to go look at the documentation. And I'm going to see if I can figure out how to pass in those native image arguments. And if you know off the top of your head, let me know. Or if any of you that are watching know how to do that. I want to pass in initialize at build time. Let's see if we can get that figured out. All right. Somebody else ran into this 25 days ago. All right. And here is what I'm copying from Stack Overflow like a professional. I put that into the chat. That's what I'm adding. It has a check mark, and the thing is, the answer is from Andy Wilkinson. So I feel pretty good about this. Let's take it for a spin. So this is a Java 22 issue specifically. I've updated, and I'm going to try it again with that flag. Thank you, Andy. So I'm not trying to do anything fancy. In my code that works on Java 21, like I haven't enabled anything extra. So I kind of expected this to work. Yeah, we'll see. It's pulling, it's going, this is good. So far, so good. And this is what we do. You know, like we hang out in the same internets, and I'm a geek. The first thing I did when I woke up is I came in and I checked my little Discord. I saw I had an issue, and I'm like, let's go. I have a purpose today, and that's to build a Java 22 ARM64 image. And this is what we're working on. So I always feel like, I wish I didn't have to add that flag, but I also like it into production. So yeah. I'm very comfortable adding this flag to get this done. And now we're sharing, right? We don't want anybody else to run into this same issue. So we do it live. And I think for me anyways, the process of how do you diagnose, how do you work through the issues, where do you get to a point when you're like, oh, here, this is definitely the issue. We got to the Java 22 was the issue. It wasn't the build pack. It was when we switched to Java 22 that we had the issue. We had the same issue on your environment, different architecture, different OS as I did. So it wasn't an ARM64 multi-architecture issue. So we kind of narrowed down where we needed to focus, and here we are.
Yes.
Your computer's much faster than mine.
Yeah, an i9 something and 64 gig RAM. So
there you go.
Quite a beast.
64 gigs RAM. That's amazing. And I would be interested to see like where it goes, because I can see on the little metrics here, yours is using more memory. So like you're building Universe 3 of 8, you're using 5.34 gigabytes. Mine was using 2.15. The process of building a native image, it's going to use up everything that it can. It's going to use all the memory, and it's going to use as much processor as you allow it, because it's doing all the analysis to figure out, it wants to build an optimized image. So it wants to throw away code that you're not getting to. If you've got dependencies in there that it's not going to be able to reach, it throws them away, and it brings in just the bits that it needs. And look at this. We have a version, and your computer is much faster than mine. But I also have a version just now. We're doing things.
Nice.
Did you run it?
I can try it.
I am happy with this answer. We just needed to add one little environment variable to switch to Java 22. I'm okay with that.
Java 22 in the logs. So yeah, it started.
Well, this is, I was kind of hoping we get to hang out a little bit longer. We had a mission. The mission worked. This is, I wanted to do more. Like, what else should we do?
I still need to get it to work on my GitHub Action render.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Because I'm not ready to go yet. Let's do something else. Let's get into production.
Let's do that. I don't think I need to do anything on my workflow. I
All right,
have
let's
Java
take a look at your
22.
pipelines here.
Yes.
All right.
So I run it both on Ubuntu, so I get AMD image, and
Mhm.
self-hosted, so I get ARM64.
Okay. Have I told you about Circle CI?
Yeah, I've tried it, but I had some issues, so I
Oh,
reverted back to this after a few months of
okay.
trying.
So the having a self-hosted runner on Oracle, that is what I did for a long time. My friend Lee, he basically bootstrapped me, gave me Terraform that set up a beautiful VM. I think I may have shared that with you, where I have a nice VM in Oracle Cloud that is set up into my Tailscale network and all the things. And I had a self-hosted runner there to build these native images. But then later, my friend Jeremy, he pointed me to Circle CI, and now I have Circle CI building the ARM64 images because it's got free runners for ARM64,
Mm-hmm.
and then also for GitHub. So I have runners on both architectures in both of those platforms, GitHub and Circle CI, and then I glue them together for my multi-architecture build pack.
Yes, it's
Or
basically the
image.
same that I
Yeah.
do.
So that works. I've been there and I like what you're doing. So do we need to change anything?
I think I need to add the pnative flag here,
Okay.
because
So
then we
your
have this.
package is going to build the native image?
Yes, so it's the same
Okay.
command that I did now,
Perfect.
just with tests. So
Awesome.
I need to run my tests, and then
Well, that's
here to
it.
create the manifest. Yeah,
Oh, that looks good.
let's try.
Oh, I like what you did there.
Hmm.
I like your setup Maven action. I like that. I like that because I do it different. See, this is how we learn. I'm learning from you. I'm going to go into my workflow because I use the SDK. I do the actions setup Java, which does a little bit. So you're using the Maven from there, but you also set up your version. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, this is a workflow that have four. I can pull it up. That have the setup Java and other actions as well.
Okay.
So it just pass through the properties to setup Java if the prefix is Java.
That's good. Would you mind putting the link? Is that repo public? If you wouldn't mind, throw that
Yeah,
into the chat
it's
because
not mine.
that would be that'd be cool. Or I guess you put it into the private chat and then I'll copy it over
Yeah.
because you're doing cool things. We're gonna learn from each other. That's part of what we do here. If anybody wants to follow along, there we go.
I'm gonna push, and then we can see if the build starts.
One of the big announcements from Spring IO around Spring Boot 3.3. One of my big for me is the class data sharing capability. We have another feature that is going to make our JVM images start up faster. So we had the AOT processing, ahead of time processing, which kind of unpacked things, made things easier to find, like the proxies and where we use reflection. It kind of unpacks things. And that's awesome. That gave us a nice little boost of our startup time. We didn't have to build a native image. We could still use the AOT processing to give us a little bit better startup performance. And now we have class data sharing, something that's been in the JVM, JDK for a long time. And now it is just a flag that we need to enable so we can get those benefits. And it's a flag that you should enable. If you're running the JVM, you should enable that flag because you're going to get a bunch of performance benefits, startup time. So now we can do that also in our build packs. So for the native images, Spring Cloud config server today isn't able to deliver a native image yet. There's a blocker, so I have to build a JVM version. But I want that JVM version to take up as little memory as possible. I want it to start up fast. I still want it to scale to 0 because I only need it when I'm starting things up. So when my applications start up, they call out to that config service, and that config service will stand up, it'll respond, and then it disappears. That's okay for me. That's what I want. So to get the benefits of having that startup time, I have enabled that class data sharing flag, the CDS flag, so that I can have that fast startup time, even with my faster startup time with my JVM images.
I need to do that too. I have my config server running all the time because I want my other images to be able to get to it fast.
So again, it's a trade-off, right?
Yeah.
In production, I'll run the JVM and it'll start up. But in my Raspberry Pis, it's still a JVM image, but I don't need to have it up all the time because now I've got class data sharing enabled and AOT enabled. So I get a fast startup time. It's not native image fast, but it's almost native image fast. And I will paste those env arguments. So I've added these two flags. I've added these two flags to my config for my config service, my Spring Cloud config server. These are the two flags that I have added to my build pack. I'm not building a native image. I'm just building a JVM based image, but I've got those two flags enabled so I get a faster startup time. And this is really cool. Like I said, it doesn't start up as fast as my native image, but almost.
That's nice.
All right, this is looking promising.
Yeah, it does on the Ubuntu version, but the self-hosted is stuck at the same line that it was before, just for Java instead of native image. It's stuck here for like 3 hours on
Okay,
the other build.
So I want you to copy that SHA from that image and paste that into the private chat. And I'm going to go to my my Docker images. I'm going to see that I got that same SHA. That's what I want to verify because I'm on Darwin, but I'm on x86. We expect that that's a multi-architecture. I built a native image using the same configs that you did. We had the exact same stuff. So I expect that SHA should be in my Docker images, and that's what we're going to check.
Yep.
So we're trying to validate, because the other thing that we can do is, because you're on a self-hosted runner, you can go to, you don't have to do it on screen, but you should be able to SSH. If your setup is similar to what I had set up,
yep,
you can SSH into that box, and you can look at the Docker images, and you could do a Docker pull of that SHA, and you could get it outside of this, and we could skip through this. Let's figure out what's going on. This is the diagnosing part. This is how I troubleshoot. This is what I want to do. So I'm copying your SHA, and I'm looking on my machine. What was the short SHA? So I want when I get an image ID, how do I do the Docker images with the full SHA? All show digests, maybe? Docker images -- show digest -- digest. All right, and I'm going to do that. Whoops. I'm going to do Docker images -- digests pipe grep your SHA, and I have it.
nice.
So I did pull it down. Why are you not pulling it down? Maybe it just takes a long time. It's only 91 megs. So here's what I would do to work around this issue. I would SSH into your runner VM, and I would do Docker pull of that SHA.
I can do that on the other screen.
There you go. Or you could do Docker pull the Paketo buildpacks / Java native image.
Yeah, so basically the whole.
Yep, you can do
string.
that. Yes.
Yep.
And this is how we diagnose.
Image is up to date, so it already seems that I have it.
That is interesting. I wonder if something happened on that pull. Let's remove it. Remove that Docker RMI and then pull it again.
Yep.
This is I could go and diagnose and figure out what's going on, why this is failing, but this is my shortcut. This is how I diagnose. I'm trying to help that computer build my native image.
There we go, and then I can re-pull it. I think it's downloaded. Downloaded new image for Paketo buildpacks, Java native image.
So maybe you want to re-kick off the hosted build?
We could try. Seems to have given up as well, because I can see that the memory usage and CPU usage is very low on the runner.
Are we running into a timeout issue?
I'm not sure.
On that? Let's see. We'll keep going.
I'll cancel it and rerun.
All right, your self-hosted runner is able to build other images. This isn't the first time you're building native images on your Oracle.
No, it's working. It's working fine.
So it's probably not a timeout issue. Well, it's just sometimes you just kind of dust it off. We made a change. All right, we're not just going to retry it and expect different results. We made a change. We pulled down the image separately so that hopefully we can get past this one issue that you've ran into at least twice.
It seems to work fine on the Ubuntu done.
Yep, the Ubuntu side looks like it's done.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Let's try again.
So for me, having the ability to generate enterprise grade, production ready, Spring Boot, Spring Cloud, Spring ecosystem apps and deliver them to commodity, right? Does this look familiar? You have one of these, right? Yep. To be able to deliver these amazing apps to hardware like this, cheap, relatively cheap hardware is cool. Very cool to me. And it's exciting because I can have things running. I can have my website. I can have cool stuff running all over the place for small dollars. I can do these crazy experiments. I can have a Kubernetes cluster running on Raspberry Pis. I can still do all my work if I don't want to have things up and running, but I can also now scale to zero, scale up quickly because the native images have a small footprint memory-wise, and they start up really, really fast. They're statically linked native images. So they just need the operating system layer and the binary. If you're on Windows, the Windows native image, you generate a .exe. This is what we do. This is how it works. And it's exciting times. Now, somebody asked, I was at Spring I.O. and I was talking about Spring Boot on the edge. My demos didn't work. I'm embarrassed. My demos didn't work at all. So I had to tell stories. But somebody asked me about running Windows, I think it's Windows 11, on Raspberry Pis. So there's a version of Windows that runs on ARM64 Raspberry Pis, and they asked if they could build native images for Windows on Raspberry Pi. I was like, I've never heard of such a thing. But the answer is yes. Where the problem comes in is I don't have a Windows build pack, right? The multi-architecture stuff, I don't have a build pack that generates a Windows exe file for reasons, right? We can't put that into a container and distribute that container yet, right? right? If I'm
Sure.
using Windows, I still have to have the Windows license. So there's no free version of Windows that I could distribute and build those kind of images. I think that that's the root issue, but I could still build a native.exe for Windows ARM64 and deliver that and bundle that into an OCI image if I needed to.
Yep. It seems to be stuck again.
Well, isn't this interesting? What? Let's see. So it pulls the image, says, "Hey, I got it." It says it pulled.
Yeah.
So what's happening here? What should be the next step? Let's see. So this is cool, right? Meaning I get to hang out with you a little bit longer, and we're going to see if we can get over this issue. So after it pulls that, then it should start to execute.
Yes. I don't think I'm missing anything on the actual
On
VM
the runner,
instance.
right?
No.
Everything should be inside of the build pack.
Yeah.
The next step that we expect to see. Oh, I'm gonna go look. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go look at my Terraform, my automation that I had for my Oracle self-hosted runner, which is also on GitHub. I'm gonna go look at that, and I'm gonna go see if there was anything that I added, because I was doing interesting things, but it was also earlier generations
Yep.
of. Here you go. I have my TF OCI ARM project, and I'm gonna look to see if I did anything else interesting. But here's the thing: it works with. Oh, let's do this. Let's see if it works with Java 21 on that runner.
Yeah, we could try that.
So with this build pack, let's see if it works with Java 21 on that runner. We're trying to isolate our issue. And while you do that, I'm going to peek over here. And it doesn't look like I have any notes.
Should I remove the build argument that we added for the error? Since it's Java 22 specific.
Yeah, we don't need that one.
Okay.
So, hello, Stephen from Kenya. I'm glad that you're here. Good afternoon. We are working with native images, ARM64, in the things. We're just trying to get things to work. It's not about just getting it to work on my machine. We want to get it to production. So that's what we're doing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch one of my projects, the one that I'm working on locally. I'm going to switch it to Java 22, and I'm going to update my pipelines, and I'm going to have it build a Java 22 version to see that my pipelines work with Java 22.
Yep.
And Java 22 native images. So I'm checking my Circle CI pipeline. I'm pulling down. I'm going to pull down a different version of the NIC because I want Java 22. SDK list Java. And I want R22. And everything else I think should be okay. I'm going to make sure I'm using the same JVM on Circle CI and on GitHub. And actually, I like your setup. I want to use, ideally, I want to use SDK Man in both environments to pull down, so I'm getting the same version of Java. Even though in the build pack, it's going to use the same versions. But yeah, for all the other things, just to keep things same. And I think I will be okay with these changes. So I'm going to try my pipelines the same way. I'm going to revert. I'm going to make sure that I'm using Java 22 and Java 22 with the flag. And I have this pattern where I use the tag. I use the tag of my GitHub to generate the version of my images or my projects. So I'm going to do this: git add dot, git status, git commit, use Java 22, git push. When I do the git push, my pipelines don't do anything. They will only do things when I add a version tag. So right now I'm at version 5. I'm going to add a tag. I'm going to say git tag be 0.0.6. And I'm going to push that tag, git push origin be 0.0.6. And then that's going to kick off my pipelines. And then we'll see if I get a build from both. So Java 21 did not work.
Nope. Same issue.
Well, this is interesting. This is very interesting.
So Ubuntu still works. So it seems to be something with my instance, maybe. I could try to reboot the VM or something, but
I'm doing the same thing on my side, right?
Yep.
How about this? What could possibly be the issue? What I might do before I reboot the VM, what I might do is purge all of the images, like just clean off the Docker volumes. Do you know how to do that command?
Not 100% sure.
I have it somewhere on my part of the reason why I keep a blog is because I just want to keep notes for things that I run into. And I know that when I did Spring Boot Native Edge RPi, I was trying to keep everything clean and simple. And I think I put the Docker purge command in there somewhere.
Is there a Docker images purge, maybe?
Yeah, there's something.
I can share my SSH. I don't think I have my IP visible. Only the host name. Yeah, I'm gonna share it.
All right.
Might be a very small though. But I can.
Here you
zoom.
go. So I found a blog, a DigitalOcean blog that has the commands that look familiar. Docker provides a single command that will clean up any resources, images, containers, volumes, and networks that are dangling, not tagged or associated with a container. It's called Docker System Prune -A. So this will get rid of all the things.
Like this?
Yep. Warning.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, let's go.
Get rid of it. So now Docker shouldn't have any volumes, images, anything, and we've cleaned it up. So you had a bunch of stuff there.
Yep.
This is what I would do. This is my next step. So we don't need to reboot the VM. Let's just rerun this. Let's see. Because I think it is pulling down the image. I think the problem is on the next step when it's trying to start the life cycle. Oh, Yeah, I think this. So let's give that a try.
Yeah, and I have killed it, but it takes some time.
I know that move. I know that move. So what else is on your radar on this fine day?
Not
What are the
much.
cool things that you're playing with? What are the things that you're trying to get done?
This particular application is it's an admin dashboard for myself, but the most important feature on it right now is I think it started is creating Minecraft servers on demand with the Discord bot. So
Yeah.
the application is starting a new VM instance, installs Docker, installs Minecraft server, attach a volume with the existing Minecraft world so you can replay. And then you
Nice.
can shut down the server and save costs when you don't play. So you just activate the VM when you want to play, and then 5 minutes later you get
Love it.
the
Love it.
server running.
Because why would you want it running when nobody's using it?
Yep.
Nobody's got that kind of money. One of the things that I'm much more aware of now, electricity doesn't. It's not the same price around the globe. And the idea, I don't even remember who was saying it. They had just a machine that was running in their data center, and they had VMs running on it, and just to keep it running, to keep that one machine running all year was $200 of electricity.
Yeah.
And that's not trivial. Like that's food or clothes for your kids. So the idea that these little things matter, right? With these Raspberry Pis, the other thing is the low power consumption. We're building these native images so they fit on these small computers, and those small computers take less power. They can still do amazing things, but we're saving money, and that translates to the enterprise and around the world. And yeah, it's 2024. Like, we have these big concerns, and when I'm speaking, I'm hearing a lot more about being green and green compute and doing these little things so that it's not just like the memory and the startup time. There's also another benefit of what we're doing is we're saving the planet,
Yes.
right? We're doing these things in a much better way. We're just taking that little extra step, and I love it. That's fun.
Yes. Seems to be stuck again at the same.
Man, this is
Yep.
all right. What are we doing? So the difference between what I had to set up and what you had set up, the way that mine was doing, I wasn't just using a build pack. I was building the build pack. So I had to have a bunch of these other versions of software on my
Yep.
VM, and that's where I would go. But this looks like it's at the life cycle. As soon as we're starting, I'm gonna go peek at exactly where we're supposed to be at. After we pull down that build pack, the next thing it says we should be executing lifecycle version v10 or v0.19.7. That's what we expect. It pulled the image. You have the image locally. When you went in it and you did the Docker pull, what is happening? How do we find out? And we also, oh no, this is also an issue with Java 21. So right now
Yeah. Or it's working fine with your version of the build pack, with your builder
so
on Java 10.1.
Java 21, my version of the builder works fine.
Yes.
Java 21 on this version of the builder is not working fine.
Nope.
Even though it works fine locally for both of us,
Yes.
and Java 22 worked fine locally for both of us, it didn't work over here.
Nope.
So here's what we're going to do, is we are going to open up an issue first. Right, so now we verified all the other things, but for this native image running on Linux, we ran into a problem. And now I think think that I mentioned something. I think I had a case, and I'm going to reach out to Slack where I've got Anthony on Slack. I don't have all the answers, but I've got really, really amazing friends, super friends, in fact. And I'm going to go look and see because I think I raised an issue a while ago. And I want to see what I did. So we did the boot image. I did the things. I did this. M1 Rosetta turned off.
I see someone has registered an issue.
Oh, they already did?
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful. So let's give it a +1. I'm going to go and look at the same thing. You're in the Java native image repo.
No, it's the Spring Boot repo.
Oh, sorry, I can't read.
I can send the link.
Yeah, put that link in there. I moved the screen so I could look at you. And I'm looking at the Java native image. Add support for static compilation. No, these are all old images or old issues. How to pass runtime arguments. We already did this. We just did the runtime arguments just by passing the.
He seems to have the other way around. His build only work on ARM64 and fails on AMD64.
Well, that is interesting. Sorry, I'm moving things around. I'm gonna. Hey, this is very interesting. Oh, that's Thomas. Okay. And this is from last month. So he's pulling down. Oh, he's stuck at the same place.
Yes.
It will only stop when forcefully. Okay. Oh, okay. I know what to do. Here's what I think. I think it might be pulling down the wrong image. And why? So how do I do that? How do I? There's a command that will tell me the architecture for the image that I pull. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
So maybe I can do it with the Docker images. Wait, Docker images digest. Does that show digests? Does that show me the architecture? No. How do I find Docker show architecture? How to get Docker architecture. Docker image inspect. That's what it is. Docker image inspect. Docker image inspect. And then give it an image. A SHA. No such image. Oops. Oh, how about this one? Hello. I'm gonna pass it the image ID. Docker image inspect image ID. There we go. And then that is going to tell me my architecture. Where is that at? Config host domain blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure. There is architecture. I'm not sure if you're seeing that.
Oh, but I did that
Yep,
for.
there you go. So on your Oracle VM, that's what you see.
Yes.
Okay, so that's not it. I was thinking like, hey, maybe we're in a different architecture and we're having an issue. But we're pulling on the right one. And this worked on Windows.
Yes.
Let's, and it worked on mine. We did the same thing here. So I've got a ARM64. And I've got, wait, mine, remember I ran the experiment. Let's go look at my pipelines and see if mine worked on these other Linux machines. So let's see if we've checked all our boxes, right? We want to try to isolate the issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go look. I kicked off a build of my image, one of my projects, in the Oregon GitHub Deshaun-io, and that repository. Oh, is it green? Actions, and it's green, and it worked. Okay, so my build using the native image on my VM worked on Linux, on x86, and it worked on Linux. And yours worked on the Ubuntu. And mine also worked on my Circle CI. Let me go and see what base OS that is on Circle CI. So I'm going to go look at my Circle CI config. It's a Ubuntu 2004 image. What operating system is your Oracle VM?
It's Ubuntu. So I also created it last week, so I think it should be the newest Ubuntu.
Okay.
I hopefully selected that one.
All right, so what else could we be dealing with here? So first of all, I want to update Thomas's issue. And let's just add some notes so we can help kind of diagnose this issue. So I want you to share where it worked for you, where it's working for you. And I'm going to do the same thing, that I am not running into the issue. And here's where it worked for me. So Moritz says, hey, it worked on my machine though. Both projects works fine in gboot build image. Yep. And Thomas, I'm just reading the documentation here around the issue. I've done more testing. I've tried the following scenarios and they all worked fine based on Docker desktop. I get the error in the following scenarios. I wonder if it's something related to older Docker version or something specific to the VM images used by GitHub. Wait, he's having the issue on GitHub on a Ubuntu 2204 image.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the feedback. The failures on CI are reproducible and not some flaky, right? So yes, GitHub Actions, GitHub code spaces. Okay. So he's running on 20.04. Okay, so here. I also tried to build on a newer GitHub runner, and the outcome is the same. The build image. Okay, so I'm going to add my notes.
Yep.
I'm working with Jonas, not Jonas, right? I think you're not Jonas on GitHub, right?
Not Björgis at all. So it's not Jonas at all. I can.
I have it.
Yep.
And am I saying your name right, Jonas?
Yeah, Jonas is right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Over here. And I'm just going to put my notes. So you do the same thing. I'm working with, I'm validating things on my side, as well. I'm not running into the issue on any of my environments. Boom. Here's my plugin setup. My Spring Boot. All we're doing right now is we're trying to share information on what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put my config in that I ran on my builds. And I'm also going to put in my pipeline information. I'm going to describe the environment that is working, the environments that's working for me. So I'm going to put as much information here as possible, and we're going to find the difference, just like Moritz and Thomas have been doing on this issue. Here's I'm going to put my whole build section in. Boom. Boom. And I'm also going to add my plugins, or it's working for me on GitHub and with this pipeline. I'll do the things. Actually, I'm just going to put a link. No, because that might change. I'm going to put a link here. Was his issue, was he even using Java 22? It doesn't matter because you're having the issue with Java 21 and 22.
Yeah, I don't think so. It didn't specify, I think.
Yeah, he doesn't specify. Right. On GitHub with this pipeline.
I guess I could link to my repo or my run as well.
Yeah.
It's public, so.
Yeah, doing things in public is a great idea. So I'm going to put my entire file in there.
Yeah, your GitHub workflow file?
Yep, I'm putting the whole thing in there because I don't have any secrets in there. So that's if we're trying to do same, I'm just putting everything in there.
I could do the same.
And then I'm also going to put in my Circle CI. It's also working for me consistently on Circle CI ARM64 with this config. Oop.
How do I format my code correctly? Should be code, right?
What was the question?
It doesn't seem to format.
I put that into a what is it called? A quote. I did the
quote.
Tick, tick, tick. So I just copied and pasted my formatted code into I don't know what the markdown term is.
Like this, I think. Yeah, that's better.
There you go. So I have pasted my build section of my POM. I put in my GitHub workflow file, and I've also put in my Circle CI config. That, hey, here's where it's working. And with Java 21 or 22.
Guess I could clean up a bit like this.
All right. It also works locally on all of my machines. I haven't been able to reproduce this issue yet. All right, so here I'm going to put a link to my repo. My repo. I'm using this repo to and I'm just going to put a link to the repo, and then they can see the actions and all the builds and all the good stuff. Excuse me, GitHub.com. Like, this is how open source is supposed to work. Even though I don't have an answer, I'm not doing anything. I'm crossing off things. I'm adding evidence to where it does work.
Yep.
So that our friends can help. And I want to make this. I want to add this over on the Paketo side too. I want to kind of link to that. So I'm going to put the link to the repo that I'm using. And I'm going to just look at the preview. I'm just going to make sure that it's looking good. It looks good. And then I want to, you know what? Oh, wait. So Thomas did put a link to his repo.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go look at his POM file. Oh, he's using Pack. Oh, wait. When using the Pack CLI, the build works. When using the Spring Boot plugin, the build... Wait. When using the Spring Boot plugin, the build only works on ARM64. But he's getting native images to work on both. So this is interesting. He's got an opposite.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I also tried without building native before the stream, and I got the same issue with using the Java one and not the Java native image.
Okay. So, you know what? I wish this is a point where I wish I had Thomas's information, but honestly, I don't think I have any way of reaching out to Thomas except for maybe on Twitter, X, whatever that is. So let me ping Thomas. Let me try. Just to see. Maybe yeah. Thomas can come in and join us, and we'll see.
I have to leave in about 10 minutes, sadly.
Hey, well, that's okay. I feel like we're doing stuff. So let's make sure we get our stuff posted. We're going to get our comments in. So I'm writing a comment, and boop, and I'm going to say, hey, Thomas, let's find some time to pair on this. Yes, we are seeing some of the same, but with different. No, I'll just do that. Let's find some time to pair on this. Boop, boop, boop. And boom. So I put my comment there. You got things to do. You probably
post my comment as well.
Fancy parties and all that kind of stuff. I know you live that life. So this is fun for me. Of course. I'm glad that we got to hang out. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. We can call it good. I can hear that my kids are up, and I think I should go and hang out with them. Maybe we'll go have some breakfast or something. But this is fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really, really, really appreciate it. And yeah, we have something to work on. I want to get this fixed. I want your pipelines to work like mine do. Yeah, we'll figure something out. So I'll keep an eye on this issue. We've opened an issue. We've added some details. I'm going to reach out to Thomas to see if maybe I can pair with him and see if we can figure out something together. And of course, we're going to share it because we're open source. that's what we do. The Spring community is awesome. Paketo community is awesome. So let's see if we can work together to make this work for everybody. We don't want anybody else to have to figure this out. So thank you. Thank you so much. Anything else you wanna close out with?
Nah, not really. I'm
You
gonna work
wanna?
on this on the side.
Okay, I will share all of the things that I learned with you. This was fun. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, everybody, we'll see you later. Take care.